Over 60 million lives lost, over $4 trillion spent, entire cities decimated, families torn apart. These were the effects of World War II, the deadliest war in history. Nations across the world went to battle and lost many soldiers along the way. Without heroes like Andree de Jongh to help, these lost soldiers would have never been rescued. The outcome of the war could be quite different. Who was Andree de Jongh? Andree de Jongh was born on November 30, 1916 in Schaerbeek, Belgium. She was the younger daughter of Frédéric de Jongh, a schoolteacher. He nicknamed her Little Cyclone due to her energetic and spirited personality. She was brought up to admire Edith Cavell, a British nurse shot and killed for helping Allied soldiers flee Belgium during World War I. She learned about the importance of helping others in times of need, without expecting any payment in return. She was previously a commercial artist, but after Germany invaded Belgium, she began working as a nurse due to her prior medical training. She despised the Nazis and always wondered about how to escape and assist those who needed refuge. Every day, she would witness civilians being beaten and tortured on the streets by the Nazis. She was horrified at the fact that no one would stop these atrocities. She decided to take the matter into her own hands and, with the help of her father and a few others, established the Comet Line, an escape route that would escort Allied airmen from Nazi-occupied Belgium to Spain and save over 700 lives. The makings of a hero. After various lengthy discussions with her father, Andree de Jongh decided to give this idea of smuggling Allied airmen from Belgium to Spain a try. She, along with the help of a Basque guide, traversed the Pyrenees and crossed the border into Spain with 2 Belgians and a Scottish soldier. She arrived in Bilbao, Spain, seeking the British consulate. The moment she stepped inside and told them of her idea with the Scottish soldier as proof that it worked, she was met with great skepticism. The British consul doubted that a woman, that too one who seemed so frail, could really accomplish such a feat. It was the same skepticism that she was faced with by some of the soldiers she was going to rescue. Our lives, an Australian airman who, after meeting Mr. Jongh, announced, depend on a schoolgirl. However, within a few weeks, she smuggled 2 other Scottish soldiers across the border into Spain, and shortly after, she delivered 11 refugees from Brussels. Realizing that the delivery of these lost airmen would boost the country's morale, the British consul finally agreed to fund Mr. Jongh's escape route. Mr. Jongh went on to personally accompany more than 100 Allied airmen whom she smuggled into Spain. But that was only a fraction of the total number of people who would be saved using the Comet Line. The Comet Line, the journey home. The Comet Line was a huge success. Even when Andree was captured by the Nazis and later sent to a concentration camp, activity along the Comet Line was thriving. Allied airmen were constantly being smuggled across the border into Spain thanks to the help of over 3,000 volunteers. At the time, escape routes had already existed, but Andree's Comet Line was unique due to a number of factors. First of all, it was one of the, if not the most, successful escape lines during World War II. Hundreds of airmen were rescued via this complex yet effective network. Secondly, the Comet Line had a network of safe houses and contacts to Belgium, France, and Spain. They also used codes and signals to communicate with each other, which helped them go unnoticed by the Nazis. Finally, the Comet Line went directly from Paris to Spain, saving time, money, and effort along the way. Many other escape lines diverted at certain points or went through long, inconvenient routes just to evade the Nazis. The Comet Line, on the other hand, didn't require the use of these evasive methods. Andree's capture. Andree's work was extremely dangerous. Unfortunately, she faced many tragedies during the war as a result. Her father, Frédéric de Jongh, was arrested by the Gestapo and executed by a firing squad in 1944, and her sister was captured and sent to a concentration camp. Over 700 helpers were arrested by the Nazis, and almost 300 killed. Andree herself was captured in 1943 and sent to the Ravensbrück concentration camp. There, she was subject to horrific conditions and nearly died of starvation. She was interrogated more than 20 times, and although she confessed to being the mastermind behind the Comet Line, the Nazis couldn't process the fact that she, a woman so weak and seemingly powerless, could be behind an escape line that saved hundreds of people. Later on, they discovered that she was telling the truth, but fortunately, she was able to elude them by hiding her identity. A true hero.
Roughly 40 different families. I eventually met the leader of Escape Line Comet, which was an Andree de Jongh. She was the leader of the resistance movement Escape Line, one of the first escape lines and the most favourable one, the best one to join in Europe. And she personally led me from Brussels right the way down to Spain, which meant crossing the Somme together, getting a train from Paris to Bordeaux.
While Andree de Jongh personally rescued 118 airmen, the Comet Line led around 6 times as many to safety. This in turn impacted the outcome of the war by helping the lost airmen escape and continue their airstrikes against the Nazis. Additionally, these many people were allowed to go back to their old lives and their families or start new generations. Andree not only impacted the war, but she also had a lifelong effect on those she saved, as well as future generations. What made Andree different than other heroes? There were other heroes and escape lines during World War II as well. So what made Andree de Jongh stand out? There were a number of factors. First of all, she required no payment. Aside from the financing required for the Comet Line and the innumerable voyages that were made to smuggle and rescue the Allied airmen, she refused to accept any sort of compensation. The only compensation she needed was the joy that she saved another life. Secondly, she kept in touch with those she rescued. She didn't just abandon them or cut off all communication with them after she saved them. Finally, she loved her job. It wasn't something that she was forced to do. She was heroic enough to take the initiative to attract the British consul's attention by making her first journey to smuggle a soldier. She continued to do her job, never faltering in times of trial. She loved those she saved, calling them her little children and referring to herself as their Dede or little mother. Andree's legacy, life beyond the battlefield. She was given the title of Countess by King Baudouin for her dedicated contributions for the resistance and was recognized by the Royal Air Force. She was also awarded the United States Medal of Freedom with Golden Palms, the British George Medal, and became a Chevalier of the French Légion d'Honneur and the Order of Leopold. Finally, she was granted the honorary rank of Lieutenant Colonel in the Belgian Army. However, she didn't want as much attention and went on to work at leper colonies in Africa with her colleague, Mr. Reis de Wael. They cared for and saved over 4,000 lepers in the Belgian Congo, Cameroon, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and Senegal. Miss de Jongh was truly a hero, both on and off the battlefield. Unfortunately, as she grew older, her health began to fail, and she returned to Belgium. Her illness eventually took over, and she died at the University Clinic Woluwe, Saint-Lambert, Brussels, on October 13, 2007. She will always be remembered for her heroic deeds and acts of courage. Every war, every disaster, and every distressing event brings a hero. But of all the heroes who have made their contributions to society, there was none other like Andree de Jongh. She may not be as well known, but she sacrificed her all just to help others. She is the ultimate embodiment of an unsung hero.